I am Robert Utter, and I am here. This is living with epilepsy, and I would like to thank all my
Subscribers,
subscribers,
patrons on
followers,
Patreon.
and all my patrons on Patreon, and all my patrons on
Ko-Fi. Ko-Fi.
Ko-Fi. Yeah. Alright, so tonight we're going to talk about what it's like to have an ex-wife who actually uses the VNS as her own weapon to have you thrown in jail for domestic violence charges that are actually more for self-defense than domestic violence, because she is actually using it to literally...
Okay, switch to first person now.
But anyway, so what this woman did to me was...
What's her name?
Well, I really didn't want to get into that because I didn't know if I could get in trouble for putting her out there like that. But anyway...
All they have to do is look her up and see all the crazy crap she's done.
But anyway, just in case everybody is wondering, and just in case I can't get in no trouble for this, her name is Bobby Joe, Warden.
And her last name is exactly what she was in your marriage, wasn't it?
Yeah. She never changed it to my last name. She kept...
I mean, it sounds like warden, like prison warden.
Yeah. She kept it. She kept her last name. She never changed it to mine after we were legally married, which is kind of weird, you know. It's like, you married me, so why not change your last name? But,
You almost took my last name, so we kind of can't go there.
But whatever, I mean, yeah, but still, I mean...
So...
whatever. But anyway, we're getting off subject. But anyway, in times when there might have been a little, argument or something that she disagreed with me about, she would just run immediately to that daggone magnet, and she would just wait till I wasn't paying attention, and she would swipe that damn thing right across my chest, and I would just drop to my damn knees and fall to the floor in pain, and it would just knock the air out of me like somebody just kicked me in the nuts. And this is for the new people that don't know. Before my car accident, it would, when they swiped this magnet across my chest, it used to feel like somebody would run up to me and just kick me in my testicles. And now when it does it works fine. Now everything works fine. It just gives me a little tingle right here in the neck, but it still hurts. So, but anyway, after she would swipe that magnet and get me down on the ground, she would come up to me and she would start kicking the living crap out of me, and whether it be in my stomach or in my balls, or she would just come up and kick me in the face.
The head. I've seen her kick you in the head.
Or even in the head.
Or punch you.
Or she would just literally get down on her knees right next to me and just start punching me in the face.
For those who don't know, yes, I knew his first wife and him while they were married, and he asked me to rescue him. I won't go too deep into those details, but I saw with my own eyes the abuse that he was going through, and no one should ever use your own medical device against you to inflict pain on you. You know, how long were you down? Because I remember my experience, you were down for at least 15 minutes. And she had enough time to maim you any way she wanted to, and then she would run for it.
Yeah. It'd be anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. I'd be down on the ground, and she would literally have that 10 to 15 minutes to, beat the living shit out of me.
And be gone.
And she would have time to run for it. There were times when she would come at me with that magnet, and this is after my neurologist in New York told me that if somebody comes at you with something and they're trying to use it as some kind of weapon, then you have every right to stop them any way possible. If you have no way to protect yourself with no kind of weapon, you have every right to do whatever is necessary to keep that person from hurting you.
Where did you spend most of your marriage to her, so that they know why the law always sided with her?
For the first year, we lived in a trailer.
No, what state? What state?
Oh, I lived in New York State for the entirety of our marriage. And for most...
Except the last 3 weeks of it.
And for most of that marriage, we were... we lived in a tent for 6 years in the woods on the side of the interstate.
Now, why did y'all go from a trailer to a tent?
She gave it to her heroin addict brother so that he had somewhere to live.
And did he ever get his kids back?
No, he didn't.
Did he lose the property?
I believe he did.
Yep. Continue.
But, anyway, to continue what I was saying. But, there were times when she would come at me with that magnet, and this doctor said to me, Mr. Utter, if you get hit hard enough in the head, it could kill you. And if anybody hits you in the head, that is attempted murder. So you have every right to defend yourself by any means necessary.
And what particular area of the head was he most concerned about?
My left temporal lobe.
Your temple.
Which is right in here. Anywhere in this general area.
Mm-hmm. Was that her favorite place to hit you?
Yes, it was.
So, just to put things in perspective, we've heard a little bit about, how she was a monster. What caused you to fall in love with her in the first place? So that we can get an understanding of how she was able to manipulate you for so long.
What caused me to fall in love with her in the first place? Well, there was a point in time I was homeless, and she gave me a place to stay. She was very kind to me, and she helped me with a lot of things.
Like you applying for disability?
My mom did that.
Oh, okay. How long were you with her before it became abusive? Like, how long had you been with her when she first struck you?
About maybe 4 years.
But before that, she was verbally abusive, wasn't she?
We both kind of were, yeah.
Okay. I don't want to mention current events, really, because this is about epilepsy, but just to put things in perspective, there was a recent defamation case in particular that we won't go too far into detail with, but you had made a few comments. That's my cigarette. Do you remember what those comments were? Hearing the plaintiff side and the defendant side.
And
You said it reminded you of your marriage to her. You said something else, but we'll say that for another episode.
and what case was this?
Depp versus Heard. I was trying not to mention it by name.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah.
Like, you teared up when you saw Mr. Depp on the stand.
Oh, yeah. Because anybody that's gonna do that to somebody else,
And then make them look like the abuser.
and make them look like the abuser, and all they're doing is trying to, defend themselves. I mean, that's some bullshit.
Now,
And if you're gonna push somebody to the point where, after they tell you so many times to stop doing something and you don't listen, then by God, apparently you obviously need your ass kicked because you're not listening and you're not leaving somebody alone, and you done pushed all their damn buttons. So obviously that ass whooping is deserved.
oh yeah, but he didn't whoop her ass. He kept trying to run from her, remember? And it was caught on tape that she was aggravated that he would leave the situation.
Well, good for him that he's leaving the situation. But like I was saying
But
about
you
Bobby
couldn't.
Joe, she would just run up to me with that damn magnet. And she would definitely, and that's when she would grab a hold of me. And as soon as she would grab a hold of my arm or something, that's when I would just punch her in the damn mouth.
Okay. That time that she chased you with an axe,
Oh,
and this was no magnet involved, and you went to jail because you punched her in the face.
I hit her twice, and I swelled her freaking eyes shut because she chased me with a fucking axe. And I went to jail for 45 days over this, and this is New York state law. They
What
take
did the police officers say to you when he arrested you?
He said they take the abuser, the one who gets abused, they take their side over the other person's side.
And they considered an axe to not be abused.
Yeah, they took that
Abusive.
whole story and they said I was, trying to make something up so I didn't go to jail. And, this is all, a whole bunch of crap. And I'm like, dude, she put her hands on me first. And I keep telling this woman, stop putting your damn hands on me. Stop trying to do shit to me.
Was there any point the police officer said, well, she's a woman and she's only 4'11"?
No.
I thought that's what you said one of the times before.
There was never any time that a freaking police officer told me that, she's 4'11", blah, blah, blah. Well, if she's 4'11", she shouldn't be coming at a man that's 6'2".
When did you finally realize that you needed to get out?
About 3 years before I came home. I had been wanting to come home for 3 years and trying to get back home.
Was there ever a point where you were terrified that you thought she would kill you?
I kind of knew it. I knew because I'd heard that there was a point with her ex-husband.
She killed him, and there was another ex-husband.
That she even told me herself that she was in his hospital room, and as soon as his heart stopped beating,
All right,
apparently,
don't mention that. Don't mention that. Don't mention that. I know where you're going with that. Don't go into that.
well, but anyway, she did some inappropriate things. But anyway, we're not gonna get into it. But it was pretty disgusting.
What did she do to cause this heart attack? Yeah, she bragged about.
I can't say any of that because it wasn't anything she did to him.
Well, that's not what she told me, and I have screenshots to back it up.
But anyway, she was telling me this damn story about how after he died right there in the hospital room, she jumped on and went for a ride.
Ugh. Very sick woman. Anyway, she had bragged. I'll try to put this as vague as possible. She had bragged to me that her 2 ex-husbands, she only told Rob about one, and she only put down that she had 1 previous marriage on a marriage license. Apparently the first one was annulled or something like that, and then she got with him again, but they didn't remarry, and she killed him as well. But she would manipulate their health problems. She would use their health problems against them. And each man died. And that's all I can tell you. But I do have screenshots to back up what she said.
But anyway, so anyway, every time, I would do something to defend myself against this woman from trying to attack me with this magnet and trying to beat the living crap out of me, I would end up going to jail for domestic violence because that's how New York works. Therefore, the woman, and they don't give a rat's hole about a man trying to, with a, disability, trying to, I guess, defend himself from somebody trying to attack the crap out of him and literally beat the living snot out of him, and they don't really care about that man trying to defend himself from somebody doing that. So they're just gonna send you to jail, and they're gonna let her get away with it and put in the newspaper that I just beat the living snot out of her just for the fun of it.
Yeah, there was a newspaper article that was a lot worse than that. She had him come over. There was a order of protection in place that she used against him, if that doesn't sound familiar, like a certain high-profile case. But she had him come over when he got out of jail for one of the DV cases, and she attacked him again, and it was a pretty brutal fight. But the way they put it in the papers was that he violated a restraining order to get to her, and he attacked her just for no reason. They never put the whole story in when it's a man who is a victim. Do you have any advice for other male victims of domestic violence?
Yeah. If you know any women that are out there beating the shit out of men and then claiming it's a man that's beating the shit out of a woman, stay the fuck away from her. Stay as far away from her, especially if she is using your disability against you in any freaking kind of way. If she is using any kind of medical condition that you have against you, stay as far away from her as possible, because she is nothing but Satan with boobs. Stay the hell away from her. She is the devil with boobies. No good for you. Stay away from her.
Do they ever change?
Hell no. This woman went into a damn public library and tried to stab 13 people because she was high on meth.
This was after your marriage ended, yes?
Yes, this was after my marriage ended.
Because y'all still have mutual friends.
Mm.
All right. This has been Rob Utter, living with epilepsy.
I would like to thank all my followers, subscribers, all my patrons on Patreon, and all my patrons on
Ko-Fi.
Ko-Fi. Y'all have a wonderful night. Peace out.